Good afternoon or good morning whenever you're watching. So since we were last here, we've had snow, we've had frost, we've had a 6-year-old birthday party which spanned a couple of days. So I haven't actually been able to get down here for 2 weeks. Wanted to when the snow hit, but there's not a lot you can do really. And I actually found myself starting to struggle a little bit. It's amazing how sort of positive and how good you feel when you're down here. It sort of clears everything out a little bit. I suppose we all have something that does that to us, but if you haven't, then I suggest you find something that does, because it's very good to have a space that is yours where you can zone out. Obviously I share this with Dan. I think it's a place for both of us to zone out, and following everybody sort of on social media, a lot of people who have allotments feel the same. So I'd really suggest it. I know I've said it a lot of times. I'm sort of doing some training with counselling and mental health and stuff, and we all need that getaway. And men particularly are not very good at doing that sort of thing. We don't look after ourselves as best we can. So do it. I've got a little video that I'll pop on in a second of when Dan came down when it was very frosty, and he confirmed that we have indeed got some beasties coming down and trying to dig stuff up. So we're going to have a look into how we sort of cover things more effectively maybe. But that's the only drama really. It's trying to be sunny today, and it's wonderful to get down here, even if it's just for an hour or an hour and a half. Just do a bit of streaming back and stuff and make a plan hopefully to get down here on Sunday, because I'm going to the football on Saturday. Do excuse me. So then Sunday I'm hoping to get down here for a good few hours and see what we can do, maybe get one of the beds set up. So I'll show you what I've done sort of at the end. I'll show you Dan's video following this, and we'll have a look at what's been going on the plot. Okay?
Good morning from a relatively bright and sunny but not particularly warm allotment this morning, and just assessing a bit of the damage from over the weekend. Fairly waterlogged at the moment, quite boggy in places. We did have some of the garlic was dug up over the weekend as well by some non-residents, I assume, but generally the plot looks quite okay. You can hear that wind in the background. Still absolutely howling on Monday morning, but nothing too major. Chairs have fallen over there. Unfortunately, our neighbours have had a bit of trouble. So that's the greenhouse that used to be on this plot, which has moved next door, and it's trying to move again by the looks of it. And this polytunnel on our neighbour's plot as well has suffered a bit of damage, so all of the plastic over the top of it has now disappeared. But generally our plot's not looking too bad. Just a fair bit of waterlogging, which we were well aware of. There's quite a lot of clay in this soil, so starting to look slightly damp. Over the next few weeks we're hoping to sort of start pulling together some bark, some wood chippings, and start to make these pathways a little bit more usable. At the moment they're fairly muddy and slippy, but yeah, at least we've got a bit of sun this morning.
We do have, I think, the first signs of life. Yeah, we do. I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to see this. Oh yeah, you can. There you go. A few of the garlic are starting to sprout up. Got a couple trying in there, not quite so obvious. But there you go, we've got some garlic. I put netting over this to start with. If we take a little walk down the plot, so you would have seen some of what was going on in Dan's video. But we've got other signs of life in the onion bed. The sun has started to come up, but we have got little buggers digging up. I put this netting over it hoping that would stop it, but it clearly hasn't. That's all for now. I'm going to see maybe if I can work on this little patch here and make it look a little bit prettier than it does. I'm going to give everything a little trim first. Good news, old Storm Bert didn't manage to whip away our brand new watering can, which is here. So, and our brolly's still here. So that's an absolute positive. Looking up at it from the other angle, let's see what we can get done. Right, so we've got rid of some of the rubbish that was here. I've just put it at the end of the plot for now because we've got to maybe do a tip run for it, but it gets it off the main body of the plot. It's looking a little bit better. Found the first bone on the plot. Not sure what this is. Don't look very small though. Maybe part of a fox or something. Not sure. Rather more worryingly, look at this. This is the end of the plot. That looks very much to me like bindweed, which means we've got some clearing to do, because I imagine it will be underneath this here if it's anything to do like my other plot was. Had a little more of a search around here. Look, there's a side to this bed. I wasn't really aware there was an edge to it, so that's where Dan made the other one. So we've got another big bed here which could possibly be cordoned off into make it two, but that there, bindweed again. I think it's not a horrendous amount of it, but if you've had an allotment or you've had it in your garden, you know this stuff spreads like absolute crazy and tries to suffocate anything it grows up. So we've really got to sort of try and get as much of it as we can before the spring. We're going to have to pull this up. I have had a sneaky peek and there is a little bit from what I could see, but not a lot. So I think me and Dan are going to have to come down here and have a effort a day, one of these days, to come and get as much of it up as we can, because it's just miserable if it gets too crazy. Allotmenteers will know, if you're just getting an allotment, if you see this stuff that looks like spaghetti, sometimes I think it can be something called hooch grass, I've heard people call it. You want to get it as soon as you can. You want to get it up as soon as you can, because it spreads like crazy. But it's not awful, if I'm honest, at this point, so I'm not feeling too negative about it. As if like magic, just like Santa Claus, Daniel has appeared down the plot.
Hello.
Hello. He's putting together a cold frame we got from Homebase for about 16 pence. It wasn't 16 pence really, but it was about 18 quid, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
So we haven't got a bloody clue what to grow in a cold frame, should I say, before we get comments telling me I'm wrong. But we can experiment, can't we? So that's good going. We've decided, I think, that this bit of grass here, see, all of this is covered. And this bit, I've just cut the grass back a little bit more in there. So I think on Sunday, I'm going to come and cover this with the hope that everything will die back. And then come spring, it'll be a nice bit of land to put some stuff in. We've already discussed previously that along here somewhere we're going to have some fruit, some raspberries I think, and maybe some blackcurrants, but we've got a huge amount of space, so we're going to put some runner beans in here as well. Sorry, I feel like I've moved you around a lot there, so if you've got sea stick, I'm very sorry, I don't even know what sea stick is. This bed I think will be the next one that we are going to sort out. Dan and I did decide who was having what beds, but I've entirely forgotten what that is. But this, where we found the edge earlier, where we've got the dreaded bindweed, I'm thinking that could realistically, that's a big spot. So I'm thinking if we just get the wood, we could turn that into 4 separate beds, 2 at least, but maybe 4. Could maybe get some strawbs going or something. That is all I'm going to do today, for it is a Tuesday. But Dan's going to finish off doing the coal frame, which is going up at a rate of knots. And hopefully, weather permitting, we should be down on Sunday. The weather does look pretty good on Sunday. So until then, I bid you adieu.
So there we go, cold frame construction complete. We've now got a little bit of sheltered growing space, and we're going to drop a few bits into there over the next couple of weeks. And yeah, really good, cheap deal. You can see why. But a very good cheap deal from Homebase on that one.
Well, maybe not quite goodbye. Danny's going to send me a little video of when he's got the hot frame up. The cold frame, for heaven's sake, the cold frame. So I'll send you that. We'll have a look at that once it's been done. So yes, about an hour and a half down here today. So that's nice on a dry, which is important I suppose, dry Tuesday afternoon. Plans ahoy for the weekend on there as well, so it's good. Just wanted to take this point to say, if you're enjoying the videos, why don't you give us a like and a subscribe. And I'm on Blue Sky, if you'd like to give me a follow on Blue Sky. It's the new sort of alternative to Twitter. Seems to be a lot more of a friendly place. Not that I know a huge amount about this sort of thing, but I'll see if I can put the link sort of like bing, sort of there or something like that. You can get me it's Bearded Gardener, or you can find me under Second City Cottage, because you get sort of two names from it. I'm just sort of getting used to it. There is another Bearded Gardener, so have a look at the picture, although that guy doesn't seem to have posted anything. So yeah, if you want to join along with what we're doing there, give us a like, a follow and subscribe and all that sort of malarkey. So until the weekend, I'll see you later.